Hey folks, Rob here, and I've got a preview of Hyper Sentinel. This is currently being developed by 4/5/6 Pixel, and is going to be published by Hewson Consultants, because, yep, they're back in the game-making game. I've been following this one for a little while. I remember seeing it on Touch Arcade, and when we published Reset 9, like everyone else, we found out that that was the first game that Hewson were publishing. So as they launched the Kickstarter yesterday, as I'm recording this, on the 1st of July, they got in touch with me and asked if I was willing to, if I was interested in getting a preview of the game and putting a video together for it. So I've got this, this footage you're seeing is me playing on my iPad. At the moment, if you do back to Kickstarter, you'll get the demo on the iPad. That was the original developed platform, and that's sort of where the game is furthest along. If you do back on Kickstarter, you'll also be backing for the PC version. That's the first conversion target. And then there'll be other platforms based on whether or not they hit a bunch of stretch goals. I will have a link in the description, and I'll make sure to flash it on screen as well for those who aren't watching, but it's easy enough to, I'm sure if you go to Kickstarter.com and search for Hyper Sentinel, you'll find it. So yeah, as you can see, the game is very much inspired by the classic Iridium. You pilot a little starfighter, you're strafing down the surface of some large, giant starships, and what you need to do in each level is take out a number of targets. You'll see there's a counter in the top right of the screen. As you take those targets out, you'll eventually trigger the Guardian to arrive. The Guardian will launch, and it'll range from like a gun from a really tough gun emplacement to a more powerful, like fighter ship. So the idea is you'll take out the targets, take out the Guardian, and you'll move on to the next stage. Now, along the way, like with modern gaming, there's a lot of like little awards. You know, if you beat the stage in a part-time, you make it through a stage without being hit, you get your combos up. A lot of those kind of characteristics, which I think adds to a lot of the gameplay. Sure, I can sit there and enjoy a straightforward shooter, but a lot of modern players want a bit more embellishment to the game, and I think this offers it in spades. The other thing I think is really important is if you are trying to play it on mobile, the controls here are really good. They're not straight perfect out of the box. You do have to tweak them a bit, but you've got the main method is you slide your thumb up and down the left side of the screen, and that controls your vertical position on screen. And you'll have two buttons situated to the right. One of them, and the basic functionality is if you press the one to the side, that's the direction you're facing, you'll shoot, hold it down, you'll fire a boost. The boost is unlimited, so you just hold it down and you'll speed up, let go, and you'll go back to normal speed. If you press the button, the opposite button, you'll flip around. And when you flip, you've got a brief moment of invulnerability. And unlike original Iridium, you've actually got shields. You can see there's that blue squares at the bottom. As you get hit, you'll go down, and then it's sort of the thing like in modern shooters where if you're safe from attack for a moment, it'll slowly recharge. I really like that. Just a little remix of the dynamics of a shooter. Makes it a little more interesting. What else did I say? The music. I'm really digging the music. It's very Sid style, and, well, that's perfectly acceptable in my book. In fact, more than acceptable. I certainly will be wanting to get my hands on the soundtrack when the game launches. I should double check my pledge to see if I've gotten it in there. And of course, if you're playing on iOS, you've also got gamepad support. That's how I was playing it here. And the controls are tweaked up a little, but they're great. They feel just as solid. In fact, I actually really like playing it with a gamepad. So if you're definitely on iOS and you've got a gamepad, it'll be worth playing. I imagine especially so if you trying to play on the Apple TV as well. So what else? I mean, the graphics, they're pixely, but they've sort of got that little thing to push it beyond like pure retro pixel art and something a little more advanced. Again, it's another detail I really love. Perhaps because this game has been in development for ages. I believe it started development late last year, and it's been coming along nicely. And I think it's very much something I definitely want to play, which is why I'm putting this video together. I'm hoping this teaser that you've seen is a pretty good enough to convince you, and hopefully you'll put a few dollars toward it. I strongly recommend it. So I've certainly done it. Like I said, I strongly recommend you do, and I hope we all get to play it soon properly. Nothing more to say than thanks again for watching, thanks again for subscribing, and do go check the Kickstarter out.